Gildan Media, a division of Recorded Books, presents Franchise Bible: How to Buy a Franchise or Franchise Your Own Business, 8th edition. By Rick Grossmann with Michael J. Katz, Esquire. Narrated by David Marantz. Foreword. For many aspiring entrepreneurs, finding a path to business ownership can be challenging. With so many great ideas, products, and services already in the market, it can be hard to think of a new niche to pursue. And even if you do know what type of business you'd like to start, there are numerous obstacles that prevent many people from ever actually taking the leap from entrepreneurial dream to business ownership reality. For those who have taken that leap and have created a successful business, finding a way to expand that business can prove equally daunting. If you try to go it alone, your growth will likely be restrained by limited finances, time, energy, and resources. These may seem like two very different problems, but whichever one you find yourself relating to, the answer to both lies in a word: franchising. The beauty of franchising is that it offers two unique and useful paths to growing a business, whether you are just starting out or you want to expand an existing business. For the aspiring entrepreneur, becoming a franchisee allows you to buy into a company that already has a proven model for success. For the existing business owner, becoming a franchisor offers a systematic way to allow others to help grow your business and brand with reduced financial risk on your part. We at Entrepreneur pride ourselves on our coverage of the franchise industry, including the first, best, and most comprehensive franchise ranking in the world, the Franchise 500. Over the 37-plus years we've published that ranking, we've seen how franchising has evolved and adapted to changes in the economy, business climate, and technology. Through it all, the industry continues to thrive. Franchising has made entrepreneurship possible for thousands of people who might not otherwise have ever started their own business, and helped others take their business from local success to nationally known brand. We've talked to these people. We've listened to their success stories as well as their struggles and shared them often in the pages of our magazine and on our website. We've heard over and over about the positive impact that franchising has had not only on their lives and livelihoods, but on communities and economies around the country and around the world. In short, we believe in the power of franchising. But we also know that putting that power into action requires knowledge. That is why Entrepreneur is joining forces with franchise expert Rick Grossmann and franchise attorney Michael Katz, Esquire, to bring you the 8th edition of Entrepreneur Magazine's Franchise Bible. Following in the footsteps of his mentor and original author of the Franchise Bible, Erwin Koip, Rick, along with Michael, has put together the most up-to-date, all-inclusive information on today's franchise market for both franchisees and franchisors. The Franchise Bible is designed as just that, a Bible. No, not that one. A full-on reference for all things franchise. This book offers up easily accessible information on everything you need to get started on the franchise journey and includes value-added content both on the Entrepreneur franchise site, www.entrepreneur.com/franchise resources, and on the author's dedicated landing page, www.franchisebiblestudy.com. There you will find links to useful forms and resources to help you make your franchise dreams a reality. This updated edition includes an interactive roadmap that allows you to customize what you hear and access based on your individual business circumstances and goals. It also brings you the latest information with tutorials, tips and tricks, and anecdotes and stories from franchise experts. Whichever path you're hoping to follow, that of franchisee or franchisor, we wish you success on your entrepreneurial journey, and we're sure you'll find the Franchise Bible to be an invaluable guide along the way. Tracy Stapp Herold, Special Projects and Franchise 500 Editor. A Lifetime of Achievement. Remembering Erwin Irv Koip, Franchise Bible Founding Author by Rick Grossmann. When I was in college, I owned a small service business. I wanted to grow my business and was evaluating the different methods of expansion when I was introduced to franchising in one of my classes. I immediately fell in love with the model and started researching the options to franchise an existing business. At that time, being a young college student, resources were tight and the options were few. I contacted numerous franchise development companies, consultants, and attorneys, only to find out that the process was complicated and the investment was way beyond anything I could ever come up with. One day I went into a bookstore and was searching in the business section for books on franchising when I came across Franchise Bible. The author was, of course, Irv J. Coip. I read the book in one day and started putting together my thoughts and vision for a franchise. Even though I had a young startup company and had very few resources, I believed we could really make a franchise happen. On a long shot, I started a little primary research and looked on the back of the book and saw the picture of Irv Coip and his address. I was able to find his phone number with a little hard work and research. This was way before Google. I contacted his office and expected to leave a message, but when I explained to his receptionist what we were trying to do, he immediately took my call and graciously spent over an hour talking to me about our franchise model and shared some money-saving tips and ideas to get us started. After we had a few phone conversations, Irv volunteered to drive over 100 miles to Santa Barbara, where I lived. But he didn't mind because of his passion for franchising and his enthusiasm for the potential of our model. He was able to show us cost-effective ways to create our franchise model and was flexible with helping us put our franchise documents together. We launched our franchise concept and had successful growth over several years. We never would have been able to do it without the professional guidance that Irv gave us, or the emotional support that he always offered. Irv and I quickly became friends and started working on other franchise projects over the years. Irv took me under his wing and acted as my mentor. He taught me the business. I then started my own franchise development and consulting company, and with Irv's guiding hand, we were able to launch several franchise concepts over the years. The one constant throughout was Irv's friendship. We knew that when our wives were tired of hearing us talk about franchising, we could always call each other and spend hours talking about the ins and the outs of our industry. At the end of 2010, as Irv entered into his retirement years, it was clear to me and other colleagues that he should be recognized by the franchise industry for his lifetime of work and support. I started working on a Lifetime Achievement Award for Irv several months before the end of 2011, in hopes of presenting it to him in November of that year. Unfortunately, we were all surprised and shocked when Irv suddenly took ill and passed away on October 16, 2011. Even on his deathbed, he was instructing his sons on how to finish the 7th edition of Franchise Bible. His passion for the franchise industry, the people who worked within it, and his overall belief in franchising and its contribution to the economy have helped countless people realize their dreams through business ownership. While crafting ideas for the 7th edition, Irv told me that he really wanted to emphasize how and why franchising is such a huge part of the American lifestyle and such an integral part of the success of the American dream, and how it could be, and indeed has been, a big part of our current economic recovery. Irv was most proud of his loving family. He would often tell me stories of their many adventures. He is survived by his wife Mary of 54 years, his 8 children, and his 17 grandchildren. He often told me he teased his kids that 17 grandchildren was a good start, but if they followed his pattern, he should have had 64. I had the privilege of attending his funeral service and getting to know other members of his family. They are a family of strong believers in God, and his service was a beautiful celebration of his life. Irv Coip practiced franchise law for over 45 years and helped countless franchisors and franchisees through the discovery and evaluation processes, both personally with his firm and through the Franchise Bible. Goodbye, my friend. Thank you for being my mentor. Irv was a great man, and he'll be greatly missed. This lifetime achievement, remembering Irv Coip, is our dedication and memorial to a great franchise believer and to a man who was always there to aid others in the pursuit of their franchising dreams. Preface. Before you enter into any business venture, you should fully understand your options in order to make an educated decision. Becoming a business owner is a huge decision with many variables to carefully consider. When you are contemplating business ownership, your options include buying a franchise, buying an existing business that is not a franchise, and starting a business from scratch. If you are looking to expand your existing business, you have options as well. For example, you can franchise your business, open additional company-owned locations, or enter into other product or service distribution arrangements. This book provides fundamental information on the subject of franchising and insight into what makes a franchise operation successful. Whether you are interested in franchising your business, buying a franchise, or growing an existing franchise organization as a franchisor or franchise owner, Franchise Bible 8th edition will be a valuable resource. Listen to the whole book. We recommend that you listen to the entire book regardless of your current area of interest. For instance, someone who wants to franchise an existing business will find Part 1 of the book very informative, even though it is geared toward those wanting to purchase a franchise, and vice versa. The in-depth description of the franchise legal documents is located in Part 1, Chapter 3. You will be able to customize your experience to best serve your purpose and the type of business that you are involved with. You will find the book's companion website, Franchise Bible Study, www.franchiseBiblestudy.com, mentioned throughout the book. The site gives you interactive options to view additional materials, content, and video sessions from trainers and franchise experts. You can simply choose the content and exercises that apply to your situation and goals to best assist you in your business endeavors. In the 8th edition. Franchise Bible 8th edition is a multimedia experience with access to website and mobile app features. The book includes an interactive roadmap that allows each listener to customize what they hear and access based on their individual business circumstances and goals. Sections within the book will feature links to a number of online franchise Bible studies, such as expert videos, case studies, quizzes, downloads, interactive blogs, and much more. These resources will be accessible through computer and mobile devices. New in this edition, all new step-by-step interactive roadmap for buying, launching, and growing a franchise. All new Franchise Your Business section with expert tutorials and tricks of the trade. All new Grow Your Franchise section for existing franchisors and franchise owners, featuring the Franchise 10 Commandments. Brand new www.franchisebiblestudy.com companion website, featuring exercises and more to customize your experience to fit your business needs. New comprehensive exhibits including franchise terminology, veil of protection, and overview of North American Securities Administrators Association, NASA. Part 1. Buying and Operating a Franchise. Becoming a Franchise Owner. Chapter 1. The Basics of Franchising and the Changing Landscape of Franchise Marketing and Recruiting. Franchising has been around in some form at least since the 1800s. Though this business expansion and sales technique did not yet have the legal name or structure it does today, Some companies in the United States were allowing others the right to use their names and logos to sell products and services in more remote parts of the country. In exchange, the owner of the new business would buy all of the equipment from the original company, of course, but they would also share a portion of the profit made from each sale. Over the decades, this arrangement took on the formal name of franchising, and also gathered both legitimate practitioners and fraudsters who used franchising to bilk the general public. As a result of the perceived widespread abuse, California passed groundbreaking legislation that for the first time regulated the franchise industry. Soon after California, the federal government passed its own regulations and charged the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, with the task of overseeing the burgeoning industry. In 1979, the FTC issued what in the industry became known as the Rule. Following on the heels of these two laws, several other states passed laws of their own to control franchising. These became known as the registration states because they require the franchisor to conform its offering to meet state law and, in most cases, demands that the franchisor register the offering before any sales efforts can start. We talk more about the registration states in later chapters. In 2007, after over 12 years of work, the rule was revised, and today we have the so-called revised rule. Though it kept many of the features of the original, it brought the law up to date in many important ways that we explore in this book. What franchising is today. Franchising, in modern business language, is a method of marketing through which successful franchisors, business owners, expand the retail distribution of their goods or services by contracting with franchisees, independent third parties. Franchisees agree to operate the retail sales or service outlets featuring the franchisor's original trademarked goods or services, and agree to implement the franchisor's marketing methods at the franchisee's capital costs. In exchange for this opportunity, the franchisee agrees to pay an initial fee and ongoing royalties to the franchisor. The FTC offers a more succinct legal definition of a franchise. It states that a franchise is any continuing commercial relationship or arrangement, whatever it may be called, in which the terms of the offer or contract specify or the franchise seller promises or represents, orally or in writing, that 1. The franchisee will obtain the right to operate a business that is identified or associated with the franchisor's trademark, or to offer, sell, or distribute goods, services, or commodities that are identified or associated with the franchisor's trademark. 2. The franchisor will exert or has authority to exert a significant degree of control over the franchisee's method of operation, or provide significant assistance in the franchisee's method of operation. And 3. As a condition of obtaining or commencing operation of the franchise, the franchisee makes a required payment or commits to make a required payment to the franchisor or its affiliate. The revised rule makes it clear that a business relationship between parties will be a franchise only if it meets all three elements. This is true in non-registration states as well as most of the registration states. Most of the registration states have adopted a similar definition, while others define a franchise using more expansive language. Why choose franchising? Very few people have the natural ability or expertise to be efficient at all aspects of running a successful business. That is where the franchisor's experience comes into play. Franchise organizations offer a structure for launching, operating, and growing a business. Indeed, the successful franchisor will deliver the entire framework around which the business is built. Franchisors usually create comprehensive operations manuals and training programs for their franchise owners that cover marketing, operations, accounting, technology, and other areas that are specific to the particular business model. These efficiencies are designed to enable franchise owners to earn more and spend less time and effort than otherwise would be required to open and operate a similar business on their own. Collaboration. The franchise organization model offers the franchisee the ability to grow under a common brand and share in the benefits of a larger group of business owners. Though each business is independently owned and managed, all franchisees share in the collaborative benefits of the organization through the support and oversight of the franchisor, including group advertising resources not typically available to small independent business owners, owning your own business and making day-to-day decisions yourself, guided by the experience of a successful business enterprise, the ability to sell products and services to markets that company-owned outlets have difficulty serving because of higher operational costs and lower motivation of employees in company-owned outlets. The benefit of recognized and proven service marks, trademarks, proprietary information, patents, and/or designs. Training from successful business operators. A lower risk of failure and/or loss of investments than if you were to start your own business from scratch. Being a part of a uniform operation, which means all franchises will share the same interior and exterior physical appearance, the same product, the same service and product quality, and overall customer brand awareness. Operational support from the franchisor, both before and after launching your business venture, in areas such as financing, accounting, employee training, and operational procedures. An opportunity to enhance your management abilities within an established business model that you could not experience in most employment situations. From the franchisor's perspective, this collaboration offers the franchisor a method of rapid expansion, spreads the brand messaging and awareness over a large network of franchise owners, taps into the franchise owner community's pride of ownership, allows the franchise owner community to grow due to a duplicable system and support, features increased buying power for goods and services due to higher volume with suppliers, enables new products and services to be developed in the field with more testing and input, provides a steady cash flow to the franchisor to facilitate overall growth of the system, can fund the brand recognition effort to grow nationally and globally. Franchising offers a better chance to succeed. The U.S. Department of Commerce and other authors of statistics concerning franchising have shown that the revenue from franchise establishments accounts for over 1/3 of all U.S. retail sales. According to studies on the economic impact of franchises, franchise businesses produce over 3% of non-farm private output in the United States, and when the total contribution of franchise businesses was considered, which includes the goods and services used or purchased by franchise businesses and their employees, franchise businesses account for approximately 9% of non-farm private output in the United States. Government research over the years has indicated that the success rate for franchise-owned endeavors is significantly better than the rate for non-franchise-owned small businesses. In short, the good news is that franchising makes up a significant part of the national economy and presents a statistically better chance for success than other business options. Of course, there are no guarantees, and not every franchise is a surefire way to multiply your savings and provide you with an enjoyable occupation. The freedom factor. Most individuals seek three common elements when choosing a franchised business: flexibility, money, status. These three elements are important for a variety of reasons and seem to be common denominators when people seek a new business as a career path. Flexibility has always been a hot button for entrepreneurs who exchange the stability of a real job for the freedom that comes with being their own boss. Money or income is always a factor, but surprisingly is seldom the most important. We know many people who have left huge salaries behind because they were miserable to pursue the American dream and launch a business. Status is an all-encompassing category that includes not only titles and position, but more importantly, the feeling of purpose one has and being a part of something significant. Owning a franchise can provide you with all three of these elements if you operate the business successfully and manage your time and resources properly. Happy franchise owners make more money. It has been said that if you love what you do, you can't help but succeed. There is a lot of truth to this statement. If you can align yourself with a franchise that really fits, you will be much happier, which in turn results in higher productivity. This is a simple philosophy that is often overlooked. Some franchise organizations have suffered because they lost sight of this reality during the fast growth stages. The explosive growth that many franchises experience is referred to as hockey stick growth due to the way it is charted on a line graph. Sometimes companies are so successful and grow so fast that they seemingly forget about the little things that made them successful in the first place. In this case, their initial success can lead to their ultimate failure. A franchise organization that forgets that their franchise owner community is in fact their customer base, each of whom should be treated with respect and with an eye towards making them satisfied, usually comes down like a house of cards. Think about this for just a moment. If the franchisor understands that its franchisees are the heart and soul of their success, and understand a very basic premise, if the franchisees are happy, then they will generate more revenue, then it will build on that reputation and financial model. But if the franchisor sees its franchisees merely as cogs in a wheel that deserve no respect, the system ultimately fails, and not because the end product is poor, but because the sales force that is presenting the product to the general public is dissatisfied. We see this all too often. As you evaluate franchise organizations, be sure to investigate their commitment to their franchise owners, as well as their future development plans to enable their franchisees to enjoy continued growth and success. We discuss this in more detail in later chapters. The changing landscape of franchise marketing and recruiting. In the franchise world, franchisors use the term recruiting instead of selling because prospects are being chosen versus being sold something, even though franchisees pay for a franchise opportunity. Franchisors must be selective as they accept new franchise owners into their franchise communities. It is counterproductive to award a franchise to an individual who is not a good fit. The franchisor should award a franchise based on the candidate's compatibility with the system generally, and should look specifically at the candidate's maturity, business acumen, willingness to learn, and ability to follow a system. In the last decade, franchisors have undergone a huge evolution in the way that they communicate their marketing and recruiting messages to prospective franchisees. This is due to the free availability of information on the Internet and related advances in technology. As a prospective franchise owner in today's world, you are among the most advanced and informed buyers in the history of franchising. This section describes how franchise marketing and recruiting have evolved and how you, the potential franchisee, can take an educated approach as you navigate through the discovery and research process with the goal of identifying the best franchise business for your family and you. It is the franchisor's job to adequately educate potential franchise buyers through their marketing efforts to attract the best candidates. This increases the organization's overall success potential, which benefits everyone involved. The 5 pillars of marketing. The traditional methods of marketing franchise opportunities and recruiting franchisees during the pre-internet years looked much like other business models of that time. This included what we call the 5 pillars of marketing that make up the primary categories of the marketing umbrella. Think of marketing as the general term that we use to describe all of the efforts that businesses use to attract buyers, be it grocers and their customers or franchisors that are seeking franchisees. Marketing can be broken down into the following 5 categories: advertising, sales, direct mail, public relations, and promotions, which we will refer to as the 5 pillars of marketing. These categories then are broken down into marketing campaigns. Advertising. Traditional franchise advertising once focused on TV, radio, and publications such as franchise magazines and catalogs, business magazines, local newspapers, and billboards. The franchise buyer could view ads featuring franchise opportunities for sale and could also read articles and testimonials.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?